Congratulations on finishing your course. That was some hard work. Now what do I do with it? Is there anyone that will house my course and help me sell it? What if I can get an entire team to help me sell my course that I worked so hard on? Have I got a discovery for you? The Great Discovery not only has a place for your course, but a network of affiliates that are eager to sell your hard-earned course creation. Want to make a little more money so you can build your course or invest in yourself? Opportunities for all this and more await you at The Great Discovery, or go to tuepodcast.net/discovery for more information. Once again, that's tuepodcast.net/discovery for more information about how to join The Great Discovery now. This is an Undiscovered Legacy production and proud member of PodNation TV Network. Are you ready to unlock your entrepreneur potential? Are you ready to break free from all the barriers holding you back? Then you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Undiscovered Entrepreneur, your first step in getting across the start line. I'm your host and guide, Scoop, and I'm here with one mission: to help you overcome the obstacles standing between you and the start of your adventure. Whether you're dreaming of launching a startup, creating the next big app, or turning your passion into a thriving business, this podcast is your launch pad. Together we'll navigate the challenges, overcome hidden boundaries that stop us from starting, and learn how to overcome them with the help of others, experience them right along with you. So are you ready to take that crucial step to transform from aspiring to inspiring? Then let's get across that start line together. Right here, right now, on the Undiscovered Entrepreneur. Hello, School Believers, and welcome to episode number 99. Number 99 on the Undiscovered Entrepreneur Get Across the Start Line. And it's me, Scoob. Coming at you, whatever device you have to be listening on. I hope you liked my episode that I put out last week. This week, I'm doing another solo episode. This is a brand new solo episode, so it's not pre-recorded or anything like that, the last one. This is a brand new recording here, and today we're actually going to do a solo because it is my first episode in 2025. So it being the new year, I want to tell y'all, all my school believers out there, my kind of goals for the podcast for this year. This is going to be a new thing for me where at the beginning of every year, I want to go over goals. I want to go over what I expect of my podcast and of myself. So I've kind of broken it down into three categories. So my first category is personal goals. My second category is my podcast goals. And my third category is my business goals. A little separate from the podcast goals, but yet very, very important. But I do have a couple of personal goals I want to kind of let you all in on and understand where I'm coming from personally as Scoob. So first of all, I have already hit one of my main goals, and that was actually to make it to PodFest. It finally happened, y'all. After 3 years of solid kind of trying to make it work, we got it. We are going to PodFest this year. That's actually going to be this month. I'm going to be going for about a week and a half to Florida and to visit my father that I haven't seen in a really long time. That was really important to me too. And that kind of goes into one of my first goals that I have set for myself for this year is to visit family more often. So I do have family in California and in Arizona. So sometime this year, I'm going to make a trip out there. They're kind of closer together than Nevada and Florida. So it was hard for me to accomplish this year, but I'm going to be visiting family. That is one of my main goals this year to try to accomplish that, to visit family I haven't seen in a really long time. If you haven't seen your family in a really long time, kind of like I have, reach out to them somehow, way, shape, or form. I know it's really hard to hug a computer screen or your phone screen or anything like that, but reach out to them anyway. It's really important to keep in touch with family. Just know that they're there to support you in what you do. And if you can't see them in person, if you can't get out to them, just find a way. It's really important to reach out to family. And I really hope that if you don't have family, if you're one of the few people that don't have family around close enough to yourself, reach out to some really solid friends and just say hi. I heard that a couple of times where, you go to your phone and you have your recent searches or your recent, go all the way down to the bottom. See who was the last person that you talked to. Is that somebody you haven't talked to in a really long time? Maybe it's time to reach out to them. So another goal I have personally for Scoob is to cut one of my 2 jobs. I'm still working 2 full-time jobs right now, and it's starting to wear me down a lot. I have even my coworkers say, hey, you need to cut down a little bit. I'm getting a little bit older. I don't know if that's an excuse or what, but I really feel myself wearing down. And there's definitely something I'd rather be doing than working a second job, and that's being here with y'all and being Scoob and helping you start your businesses. And that seems to be really important to me. I'm really going to be working hard to start finding a way to make money at other places so I can quit one of my 2 jobs. And third, and probably most important to me, are my kids. And I really feel like I want to be there to support my kids' creativity more often. My oldest son is an aspiring blacksmith, and he's been amazing and teaching himself that, and I want to be there to support him. I've talked about my daughter a couple of times where she's making custom dolls, and she is probably one of the most creative people I know, and I want to be able to support that for them this year so they can expand what they're doing and maybe turn it into something fantastic. So those are some of my personal goals this year, and I just wanted to put it out there for you. My podcast goals. This is something mainly between you and me as a listener and as a host. Some promises I want to make to you this year that I will be able to keep, just because this is something I want to make sure I actually get done. First of all, I want to make sure I have 52 episodes for you for this year. I know I had to miss a couple episodes this year due to unforeseen circumstances, and that happens sometimes in our entrepreneur adventure where we have to put things aside and put our family first. But if we can get ahead in our work, so when things like that come up, we don't have to stop what we're doing here to be able to do what we need to do in those unforeseen circumstances. Get ahead of things. Get a 2 or 3 episodes ahead of where you are right now. That way that you have that kind of cushion. If it's work that you're doing that you can build up, get ahead of again, then it might benefit you later on. We'll have to see how that goes for us all. So one of my main goals for this podcast is to make sure I get 52 episodes for you. Now here's a bigger one for you besides the episodes. I want to do more solo episodes for you. I feel like it's nice to have guests on the podcast. I've learned so much having guests on my podcast and giving them the spotlight like I like to do, because it helps them out, it helps you out, it helps everybody out. But I have a lot to say too, and I think that I would want to share what knowledge I have accumulated with my school believers out there. So I am going to be doing some more solo episodes. Solo episodes do scare me. That's probably one of the reasons why I want to get more into it now. I feel like that I feel like my confidence is a little bit more now, and I'm able to talk to you one-on-one a little bit more. And I don't know, it's just, I feel like I really, really should do. I've had a lot of people tell me I need to do more solo episodes. I just have to figure out how to actually do it and it be high quality. And I will figure that out, because I need to do it for you. I need to do it for me too, but mainly I need to do it for y'all. So we're going to accomplish that this year. Also, as far as guests are concerned, I want to start getting some higher quality guests for you to listen to. I'm still going to highlight new entrepreneurs, always going to highlight new entrepreneurs to give them that opportunity to get onto a platform that nobody else will take them seriously on. I will take you seriously if you are a new entrepreneur. Make sure you reach out to me if you are. But I'm talking about people that have experienced things that they can teach us how to overcome the 4 hurdles of stop, including, and this is one of my main goals, and this has been a goal for a while, but I'm going to get it this year, having Pat Flynn on my podcast. He is the guy that I have modeled a lot of what I do in podcasting, and I really want to have him on my podcast. So my My main guest that I'm looking to have on this year is Pat Flynn. So Pat Flynn, if you're listening, I need you. We're going to have you on my podcast. Also, I want to have more listener involvement from you. I want to be able to listen to what you have to say as the listener and want to know what you want to have as guests. What kind of information you would like to hear from me? What kind of subjects do you want me to cover for you? With that information, I can really give you a higher quality podcast that has what you want in it. But I can't do that unless I have that knowledge from you, the listener. So please reach out to me. I want to reach out to my listeners and find out what they would like to have as a podcast and how I can improve this podcast for you. That's really super important to me. Also, I want to have a few more lives. I want to have a few more live events where you all can find me, just do talks, maybe do a webinar, maybe do something along those lines where I'm talking to you live one-on-one or one-on-many or whatever it is. I got to find out a way to actually make live content for you all. I think it's just more fun that way. I think it just gives us more connection as listener and host. And I want to get you all involved, just like I said before. And I think having lives, whether it be on Facebook, whether it be on LinkedIn, whether it be anywhere, I want to give you the opportunity to ask me questions live on the screen. We'll see what happens. I'm still experimenting with it, but we're going to see what happens. And lastly, my business goals. I have my business goals kind of separate from the podcast goals, even though the podcast is definitely my main business. But, I do coaching and I do a few other things too. And those are goals that I want to have to kind of latch on to the podcast goals that I have. So one of my main business goals here is to find 2 consistent clients to coach, to help them get ahead in their entrepreneur adventure, to help teach them what I know so they can branch out on their own and do things that they want to do, to help them find their zone of genius, to help them find their voice out there, to help them make an income for themselves and make a better life for themselves. I want to be able to help them do that. So my goal is to have at least 2 consistent clients this year. Also, business-wise, I want to have revenue for my podcast. I have a couple ideas that I'd like to implement with y'all this year. Definitely some exclusive content, one-on-ones for just you and me. And I have a lot of other ideas. I'm not going to name them all because this thing will go forever. But we can't just have ideas. We have to implement the ideas. Otherwise, ideas won't do anything for anybody. Taking those ideas and implementing them into reality is what's going to help you and what's going to help me too, to be honest with you. So let's make sure that when we have ideas, they're not just ideas. They're ideas that we're going to implement, ideas that we're going to take a nice structure to be able to make real. And one of the other things too is, by now you've heard my intro that we are now on PodNation TV. I've actually been a part of PodNation TV probably for about a year or so. And I've gotten a lot more involved in PodNation recently. So recently they have put me in charge of a couple of things. I basically have skin in the game when it comes to PodNation TV. So I want to help it grow. PodNation TV has made me the sales manager and the show manager of the network. That being said, you're going to see a lot more from PodNation TV. We are on Roku right now, so if you download the PodNation TV app on your Roku television, you will see Undiscovered Entrepreneur, Get Across the Star Line, and several other podcasts that are out right now too. Take advantage of that. Have some fun with it, learn, and see what happens. You never know what can happen when you find something new. So we're going to take that to another level too. Hopefully that's going to help a lot of the podcasters that are in PodNation TV and provide some great entertainment for y'all on the other side of the screen there. So a couple other things too. I want to start a newsletter. This is going to be new for me. And I think that's going to help the people that do more reading than listening. There's a lot of people out there that would rather read their their information than just listen to it. Some people are just like that, and that's great. Everybody has their own way of absorbing information. I absorb my information through listening. That's all my books are audiobooks, and they take up a lot less space. But I want to be able to appeal to those people that read their information. So I'm going to be starting a newsletter. Don't know, have too much information on it yet, but I will definitely keep you posted once that actually starts coming about. We're going to make this newsletter specifically for new entrepreneurs. I want it to be another resource for new entrepreneurs to learn from. Another thing that I want to make sure that I get done this year is to have 3 live talks on stage. Not necessarily here on the internet, but with a stage audience and people to actually listen to what I have to say. This is another one of those things where I do have a fear, I guess, but it's also more excitement than fear, I think. I really want to be able to do this for everybody out there. So I'm going to have these stage talks. I'm going to invite all my school believers out there to come down and listen to what I have to say on the stages. If you can make it down here, great. I guarantee you it's not going to be, unless something amazing happens, which is possible, it's not going to be huge stages. It's probably going to be small stages, but they are going to happen. Speaking is going to be one of my main superpowers. It's all started here, and I wanted to go to the next level. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a goal for ourselves for this year to have at least 3 live stage talks somewhere. Hopefully, they're probably going to be here in Missouri, but they're stages nonetheless. And I think it's going to be a great experience for me. The other thing too, I want to have at least 5 virtual talks. And this is when I go on a virtual stage with other speakers. Probably going to happen that way. Probably not just going to be me. And I want to take you along with me on those too. So I'm going to reach out and try to get speaking engagements for at least 5 virtual speaking engagements this year. And that's basically my goals for this year when it comes to the podcast and myself. These are all things that I've really been wanting to do for a pretty long time, most of them, especially the business ones, but we're kind of holding myself back, I think. The real reason why I want to put this out on the podcast is it will definitely hold me accountable for these goals with you, the Scoop Believers. I feel like if I say these things, especially on a platform like this, that means I'm accountable to make these things happen this year. And I think that's what I'm missing on a lot of these goals is accountability. So I appreciate you listening to this, and I want you all to hold me accountable for these things. If there's a lot of these things that I haven't talked about in a while that kind of pop in your head, hey, he hasn't done this yet. Go ahead and reach out to me. Hey, what happened to those 2 clients? Have you gotten those 2 clients yet? How many stages have you been on? And that way it kind of keeps me going. At this point, I want to ask you what your goals are for this year. If you look into the show notes, there's a place where you can actually click on, and it's a link to text me and contact me and ask. And it basically says, what did you think about this episode? Click on that link and let me know what some of your goals are for this year. I'd like to hear about them. That way I as a host can hold you accountable for your goals. So it goes both ways, right? So I would love to hear about that. I want to be able to reach out to you all and help all of you, but I can't do that unless you reach out to me because I don't know who you are. I really wish I did, but if you reach out to me, I'll know who you are. I'll be able to help you. So let's do this together. Let's do this together as School Believers. You can even reach out to me in my new community that I have posted on Facebook. The Facebook group is Across the Start Line, which I think is awesome. It kind of fits in. The Undiscovered Entrepreneur Network. These are all, I want us to all kind of get together here on Across the Start Line on Facebook and help each other out, because that's really what it's all about. I will have a link to that in the show notes as well. So if you want to join that community, it is a free community. You're more than welcome to go on there and ask for help. If you go on there right now, it'll be a one-on-one thing for sure between you and me. So I'll be able to help you out a lot. It's going to be a lot different if I have a couple hundred people On there are a couple, I'm probably dreaming a little bit, but a couple thousand people on there that are asking questions right and left because I'm not going to be able to answer them all. So now would be the time, if you want help in your entrepreneur adventure, to join Across the Start Line on Facebook. Go down to the show notes, hit that link, and let's get together and help you on your entrepreneur adventure. So that about wraps it up for this episode. I would really like to make sure that you make 2025 your best year in business. And I want to be the one to help you along the way. Like I said, reach out to me. Let's see what we can do. Make 2025 the best time that's ever been. And I will see you across the start line. Goodbye, everybody. And there you have it, future entrepreneurs. We've taken another step towards our journey to get across that start line. Remember, every great business starts with a single idea and the courage to pursue it. You've already shown that courage by joining us here today. As we wrap up this episode of The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, I want to remind you that the start line isn't as far away as you might think. With each bit of knowledge you gain, each fear you face, you're getting closer to launching your dream. Until our next episode together, keep pushing, keep dreaming, and most importantly, keep taking those steps across the start line. They'll all add up to big strides in your entrepreneur adventure. This is Scoob, your guide across the start line. Remember, your future is waiting. I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today. Do you find yourself faltering when speaking in public? You definitely know what you're talking about, but you just can't seem to get over the horrific fear, and imagining people in their underwear is just not working. Whether you're gearing up for a big presentation or just looking to improve your daily communications, Leslie Fiorenzo is your go-to resource for mastering self-promotion, facing your audience fearlessly, and communicating with authority. Don't miss out on your opportunity to elevate your game. Contact Leslie Fiorenzo now, or go to tuepodcast.net/speak to step into the spotlight with confidence. Your adventure in public speaking mastery starts here and now. Don't wait to get your voice heard. Book your free consultation at tuepodcast.net/speak to start your adventure in speaking excellence today.